What is up? Welcome to the Stat Guy Show, episode number 20. My special guest tonight is Johnny Quick. How you doing, sir?
What's happening? What's good?
Hey, man, how's it going?
Good, good. Just trying to get this junk ready for this weekend.
Yeah, so what do you got going on? Where are you racing this weekend?
There's a race up here at Lapeer. April Fool's Day, no prep deal. It's been going on, like lock-in's been going on for months. So it's supposed to snow on Saturday, so they pushed it back to Sunday now. So yeah, we get to go race. It's gonna be like 43 degrees. It's gonna be a good time.
Nice. Is that a no prep small tire event?
No prep, small tire, or small tire, no prep deal. It's getting pretty popular up here. You know, between Michigan, Ohio, and Indiana, there's 2-3 races a weekend. So you kind of pick and choose what you want to do. We locked into this race a long time ago. I was hoping to have more passes in. We've been trying to race for the last few weeks, but the weather up here is just so bad. So we were able to sneak out last week and get a race in. But other than that, I mean, we're late this year, you know.
Okay, so you're starting earlier, huh?
Yeah, last year I raced 12 out of 12 months. We started, in January doing America's List. We were down in Texas, and then we continued racing all year until December. So it was good to have a little break this year, in the wintertime. But just updating the car, trying to get it right, trying to prepare for the season.
Yeah, speaking of the car, last month I saw some really nice pictures of your car at the Detroit Autorama. How often do you go to that? Do you go to that every year, and do you bring your car every year?
So last year, Milan Dragway, they're big supporters of us, and they just had new owners, and they asked us to come out last year, to support it, and it was actually a big deal. It was the first time I ever brought the car there. I've always been as a spectator, we always went there every year. Last year, though, bringing the car there was the first time, and they asked us to come back again this year. Brian and I went. A lot of other guys went too, but Brian and I, whatever Milan wants, they let us do whatever we want there, and if that's what I can do for them to allow me to do what I want to do there, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Your car looked great, man. That's all you're posting about. This will be the best it looks for the rest of the year.
That was a yearly wash. It doesn't get washed no more. That's it. It looks good for the show, and it's already messed up.
Yeah, nice. So I'm sure it got a little bit dirty this past weekend. You were racing at Cincy, the Cincy Street Nights at the World Series of No Prep. Talk about that. What is the World Series of No Prep? And is that something you're going to be doing for the rest of the year?
Yeah, so, we're big tire racing for the last 5 or 6 years. I'm fairly new to the small tire stuff, man. Small tire no prep is huge. I got a couple of kind of not so fast small tire cars just to go play. And now this year I'm committing the full year to small tire no prep stuff. World Series of No Prep, it's cool. It goes. I don't know all the details about it, but I know that they go to a bunch of different tracks. They have a point system, and I think there's like a bonus at the end of the year or something. There's actually There's 2 point series. Onondega's doing a point series too, so hopefully they don't go on top of each other. But yeah, I'm going to try to make all those races.
Nice. And talk about how much different, like you went to the first event, how much different is it obviously than traveling and doing No Prep Kings?
Man, No Prep Kings, that's a whole different level. So the stuff around here, you're gone one day. No Prep Kings, you're gone 4 or 5 days. I mean, I don't have a shot at winning No Prep Kings. I ain't even going to lie. I ain't even going to pretend. So it's hard to go drive 25 hours knowing you're going to lose, where – if we go to these small tire no prep races, I have a good chance we could win. No Prep Kings, it's insane, man. It's a bunch of professionals, bunch of rich guys. They're the best, man. There's some badass dudes out there, and that just goes to show you how much more dominant Ryan is. Ryan could go out there and win year after year after year when there's so much money in that that class, and the travel time, the time away from home. We got businesses. We can't travel, 5 weeks out or 5 days out of the week and then come back and work Monday and Tuesday. And then you got to get everything loaded up back in the trailer, back on the road, and I can't stay on the road the whole time.
Right. And that one season 4, I think it was, that you made a lot of events for No Prep Kings. Yeah. How hard was that? I mean, it seemed like you guys, especially Team Detroit, it seemed like you guys were just barely hanging on. Most of you guys didn't make it. Like, you know what I mean? It just seemed like a really difficult year for you, Johnny.
It is. So Detroit, we have a lot of talent in Detroit. We just not everybody's on the same page of wanting to go do stuff. Some people want to go race Radio versus World. Some people want to go race X275 LDR. Some people want to do small tire no prep. Some people want to do no prep kings. And it's just hard to get everyone on the same page to go do no prep kings. And then, to go out there again, like I said, you have to be pretty successful or have a good business that can run itself when you're not at home.
Yeah.
And to be gone for that amount of time, I mean, that's huge too. A lot of the guys who we race with, they work at Ford and Chrysler and GM. They can't take 2-3 weeks off at a time, straight. They're going to be gone. And, this is how they support their family. And it's tough. It's really tough. There's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of talent out here. And it's just hard to get them out at the shows.
Yeah. And you said you've been racing a lot, obviously, on TV, especially big tire stuff the last how many years. And now you're going to be doing a lot of small tire stuff. What kind of changes are you going to have to make to your car to adjust to that?
I don't know yet. We're trying to figure it out. So last year when we did America's List, rumor was, I'm the last one to know about all this stuff. And rumor was, I think I went to one of JJ's arm drop races, and JJ's like, I asked him, I said, man, I heard rumor was small tire Fast and America's gonna be small tire this year. He's like, it is. I said, man, I don't have a small tire car. He's like, get you one. I was like, really? He's like, get you a small tire car, and JJ looked out. So I went home, and Marty Marilette's one of my good friends, and he's like, well, let's just make a run for it, and we'll put smalls on it. I said, man, that's a lot of work, And he's like, but I've always wanted a small tire car because, like I said, we could race every weekend within Michigan, Ohio, Indiana. Big tire pots ain't nothing but $600, $700, $800. You got to travel, and it's $200 to race. Even if you win, you're still lost money because you win $800, but it costs you $1,000 to race. So right. It's a losing battle, and I like to race, man. I love to race, and small tires where it's at, and there's no shortage of races.
Right. And let's talk about small tires in the Street Outlaws world right now. Obviously, Fast as America is going on, and you were on Fast as America. After this is your fourth season now. You've done it every single year, every single season you've had it. What made you come back this year to do it again? What makes you keep coming back to Fast as America?
I'm stupid, I guess. No, it's I like the competition, right? We grudge race. I grudge race for so everyone's like, why do you do it? We don't make no money from the show. I don't really care about the fame. If you get noticed, I really don't care about that. What I do like is my main is just like to try to work with companies to try to get a discount on parts. I'm going to buy the parts anyway, right? So let's just say if I'm ordering parts and hey, you know what? We like you. You put on a sticker on the car, we'll give you 40-50% off. I'm going to buy the stuff anyway. So that's money, I was going to spend that, when I grudge race for 10, 50 did that, now if you're on TV for 15 seconds, 30 seconds, people want to see their stuff on the car, want to help you out. And that's my angle, this is still a hobby for me. A lot of people treat it like a business. And sometimes I feel I should treat it more like a business. Like the YouTube channels, you could tell the guys who are doing it, and they're huge, I'm just not that guy. I have a hard time asking, begging for money and, parts and stuff. Yeah, you always want a handout, but it's just like, I'm too proud to ask for it. This is my deal. And, but the TV stuff helps that, it opens the doors that I would never have unless we did the TV show. The Fast in America, man, I love competing. I really, truly believe these guys are some of the best ones in the country. And I want to go see how I do against these guys.
Yeah. And you've done your fair share of arm drop chases of race with JJ and stuff. And this year, Fast America is flashlight start, no chase. What are your thoughts about that? Do you like that better?
I mean, I don't care. I could race either way. When we grew up racing in Detroit, it was chase as a race. We didn't have cell phone cameras. We didn't have all these crazy frame per second. It was the first one to the finish line. So we always said a good racer leaves first, a bad racer follows. So that I grew up racing chase as a race. I like to change. I don't like the same old stuff over and over and over again. It's like watching NHRA. I do like to change. I do like, hey, let's if Ryan Martin, for instance. How do you beat Ryan Martin? You know, in a straight up drag race, he's going to beat you every time. But if it chases a race, I might be able to get him, you know, and I can put an upset. And yeah, you do want to be the baddest, but sometimes you're not. And if you got to hustle the other guy, you can. I'm not that guy. Usually, like, I'm the sucker, and I leave on you know, on green when I should probably leave on a couple people, but I don't. I'm stupid.
Yeah. Wow. So in this year, especially, so they switched up the flashlight start, and then they did a whole new bracket style racing where teams get to race the whole season and earn money and blah blah blah. How do you like that? How'd that go for you? I mean, don't give away details.
Yeah, well, I kind of like the other way better. Okay, so the biggest part about trying to get a team is different when it's just you. But when you have a team of 10 others, not everyone can commit to being gone for 3 weeks. You know, so you have to. We had some good guys that couldn't make the trip, and just because they couldn't take that much time off work, where if it was just like if you lose, you go home deal, we could go out there, and if we lose the first round, hey, we get to go home, right? Yeah. But from what I heard, why they did this format, it makes sense. Again, it's a rumor. Anything I say is a rumor. Don't quote me on nothing. This is just, but they said, if, again, this is a rumor, I don't know, but so if Detroit races, right, and they lose first round, Michigan doesn't watch any of the rest of the season because Michigan's gone. But now that there's 2 guys from each team going, that Michigan will continue watching the whole season.
Makes sense.
And it'll help, it'll help the viewers, Yeah. And it makes sense. These guys all the time, they're not the smartest car people, but they know TV.
Oh, yeah.
And they know what puts, the fans on watching the TV, and they know how to put on a show. And if you listen to their point of view, they make a lot of sense, and I've had a lot of discussions with like Mike Hellman, who passed. He was my boy, and man, we would talk 3-4 times a week, and he would teach me a lot, a lot of the stuff, and it's a TV show first, If you want to watch racing, watch NHRA. The drama sells.
Yep, it does.
The more and more upset people get about it, it just makes more people tune in, and it's a TV show.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned how some of the guys couldn't make it. Now this was the first year that you are there as without Brian, Chucky Davis. You're the captain by yourself now instead of the co-captain. You don't have guys like Jake Blaine there and stuff. How was that? Because some guys couldn't make it, or you wanted more actual small tire guys who do it regularly? Like, talk about how you came up with your team this year.
So in the years past, with the big tire stuff, we only have so many big tire cars around here. So if we had a hard time coming up with 10 big tire guys, so we would have 3 or 4 really good, maybe 5, and then the others were kind of like, I don't want to call them fillers, but they just didn't put in the work that the other guys did. So this year we have so many small tire guys. Now it's like, how do I pick a team? And I don't want to put my decision into it. So what I came up with is when Brian and I talked, and Brian said, he's not going to be able to make it. I think Brian is the only, he owns a plumbing company, and I don't think he has many employees, if any employees. So he runs everything. It's hard to travel, and it's hard to leave. He's got a lot of clientele. Your toilet has to flush. He's a plumber. Your toilet has to flush. You ain't going to wait 2 weeks till he gets back. It has to flush, right? So I don't know if why he didn't go, and there's some other stuff going on. But so even though I'm the captain, no one else really had that much experience with it. I said, what we're going to do this year is we're going to Mile and Dragway lets us use the backside of the track whenever we want to. It resembles the street very, very good. I said, how we're going to do it this year is we're going to bring the 10 fastest guys. Out of 40, 50 guys that try out, we're bringing the 10 fastest guys. We got draggers. We're going to put them in the cars, and we're bringing the 10 fastest ones. We race against these guys every week. They're all racers, right? Me too. I had to prove myself. I had to, I ain't going to go. If I'm the 12th fastest, I'm leaving the car at home. That's just who I am. So all these guys, they proved themselves. They went fast, faster than the other ones. And there were some good guys that couldn't make it, some really fast guys, but they struggled during testing. And I can't go against what I said. I said, we're bringing the 10 fastest guys, even though I know someone has the potential to be faster. Man, you had 3 or 4 weeks to get it right, and figure it out in those 3 or 4 weeks. And another thing I like doing is like back when we had the big tire stuff is same deal. We were all invited to go in the back of the track, and we started competing against each other, and that made us faster. If we're in the back and say let's say Brian goes 5:30, on his draggy. All right, watch this. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna try to go 5:20s. I go 5:21. Brian, watch this. He's gonna go 5:18. Next thing you know, at the end of the day, you knock 3-4 tenths off your time because we're competing against each other. So I wanted the whole team to do this. If we put the times out in open, someone's going 490 and everyone else is going 550. Hey, we got to figure out how to get these 550 cars going 490. And, as a team, try to get better. They're all grown men, though. And like I said, we race against them 48 months out of the year. The only time they're on my team is when we're doing that show, So they all have their ways of they want to race, and I'm not a dictator, so I'm not going to force them to race my way. They don't want to lose, so I'm going to let them do what they want to do. And, and if they have questions, I'm more than willing to help out. But also, I'm not going to put my nose in their program when I don't know what's going on. This is their car. They know how to race. And hopefully, they make the right choices.
Yeah. And we've gone, I think, three episodes so far this year, Fast in America. Episode number 2, we saw Callie Nate come out and with a lot of gray area stuff with his car. Was there a lot of misinterpretation of the rules, or
there was quite a bit. So the 28 stuff was supposed to be like full interior back seat, real legit street cars.
Kind of like the 405 show, right?
Huh? No,
like the 405 cars.
The 29s was pretty much run what you brung.
Okay.
The 28s were supposed to be like street style cars.
Yeah.
Like one of our cars had Kirkies, and they kind of made a big deal out of it because they had Kirkies on it. But like we almost put factory seats back in it to do it. So when we went out there, after that whole Nate fiasco, they pretty much opened it up to anything on 28s, which sucked because we brought stuff that fit the rules. We're 36 hours from home, and we brought real deal street 28-inch cars. And they changed the rules on us, and that sucked.
Did that make you rethink about who you want to have race at that point?
It's too late at that point. It's too late at that point because we're 36 hours from home. These guys.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
The guys who earned their spot, they took the time off work, and they made the trip. They got the B&Bs, and they plan on staying there. I can't tell them, hey man, they changed the rules. You got to go home. We just got to figure it out and try to go faster. Let's take the extra seat out. Let's try to do whatever we got to do, and go from there. But yeah, it sucks. That stuff sucks. I just want a fair shot at racing. I like to race. I like the competition. I hate losing. Everyone sees I wear my emotions on my face pretty bad. I'm not a good loser. And when we have cars that can run, and we can win, and something stupid happens and we lose, man, that really hurts, And that's where I do feel I fail, as a captain, just trying to get everyone prepared. It's hard to duplicate the nerves when the camera's in you, you're mic'd up.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, we should practice, flagging, flashlight starts. Man, we do every week at home. We leave off a flashlight every week. How many more times do you want it? But how do you replicate the nerves? How do you replicate a camera in your face, and a mic and everything, and the bright lights and stuff, and sometimes the nerves get you, and that's the one thing I can't teach. How to beat that. I haven't learned that one yet.
And we just saw that this past episode. You guys Frank finally won, was the first one to get you guys some money, and then Lorenzo had Kowalski beat easily, but he had that tire crack, man, and it's like, you can see the frustration on your face, man.
It is. It's tough. Well, I don't watch the show anymore, really. Usually, if it comes on, I realize how bad, how much more I got to work on my stuff, so it motivates me to go in the shop. So I go in the shop and work on it, and then I'll go in the house later, and she'll be watching it, right? And then I'll catch a little bit of it. And then, like with the Bobby Lazo race, that that one hurt really bad because they said we won, and they didn't show it on the TV. I think they said we won, but we were back there. We already gave our interviews, like our winning, after race interviews and stuff. And then, like 30 minutes goes by, and they come back and be like, you lost that race, right? No, you said we won. And then they're like, everyone's making a meme like, no, we're not cool, because I was pissed at the time because they said we won. We're already getting the car ready for the next round. And then they come back and like, hey man, I hope we're cool. No, we're not cool. We just got kicked in the dick. We're happy to go to the next round, and this happened because that car, whenever we put on the trans brake, like it would rock a little bit. So like I was nervous about it, but I'm like, they got the 2 lines. So I was like, I'm gonna keep them back just enough so if it does rock, it doesn't go over the line,
Yeah.
And people are arguing tire crack. Tire crack, I understand. Tire cracks when the tire keeps spinning. You gas, it keeps spinning. All it did was it rocked, and then it stopped until the light was green, and then it went. So there are rules. Each region has different rules, different ways of doing it, and you have to respect JJ's rules. At the time I was upset, but that was the rule, and he made the right call. It sucks for us, it sucked for Bobby, and it really sucks when all the people on TV see you going to temper tantrum because the call didn't go your way. But that's why I don't watch the show. I watch the show, I'm like, I'm never doing this shit again. So yeah, it sucks. They never show my good times. They make me look like a bad guy or a mean guy all the time. Like usually if I win, they show the other guy making excuses why he beat me instead of or why I beat him instead of me being happy, They'll say someone, I was down 6 cylinders that fast. No, man, you lost. Just you got beat by me. I know it sucks, but hey, I beat you.
Yeah. It's I honestly, I've seen every single Street Outlaws show since the beginning, and I'm a hardcore fan, and I don't mean to talk shit about anything, but it seems like so many rules are being overseen, so many tire crack things, it's like JJ should have just went back to the damn arm drop chases race, and none of this shit would have been a problem.
He was. They listen. They kind of listen to the people.
Yeah.
The people always complain. I'm not really on all the forums. Because you'll have a million people who hate this guy and a million people who hate that guy. I don't think no one's loved throughout. Someone's always got something to say. So it's like I don't want to watch it. I don't want to look at this shit. But people always play if they don't change, if it's not an arm drop or a light start, I'm not watching anymore, and they actually see that stuff, and that's what they change. I wish they would stay, We have I don't know. America's List was Chase's race, and now JJ stuff was Chase's race. Who knows? It's going to change every week. Every time, every show is going to be different. And this way, it's not the same old show over and over again.
True.
It's not new to tune into. As long as it's fair, just make it clear. Another time, that I'm thinking about it right now. America's List season 1, there was an accident on the big end, and they had no more camera people at the finish line. So you had to do your call outs at the starting line. So I raced someone. We just got over this in the driver's meeting. They said, okay, when you come back to the starting line, that's when you can call someone out. Well, what if the other guy in here? Well, we're going to give you ample time. If you're not making an attempt to call the other person out, you're going to lose your spot, or the guy below you can call out. Okay, cool. Of course, I'm the first one up. Don't make a pass. Whoever's in the back. I turn around, come back, stop the car at the starting line. Someone calls me out. I say, all right, cool, but I'm going to wait for, and they're like, no, you can't do that. What? You just said this 15 minutes ago. And, again, it looks like I'm an idiot. But literally, I look at Brian like, is he serious right now? Didn't he just say this? And no, that's not how it's going to be. And, of course, I'm the bad guy, And
I remember that.
It sucks. It sucks. We're always going to get screwed some way, somehow. We just don't know how it's coming yet.
Thanks. So you've been racing a lot of small tires lately. Do you like the change that Street Outlaws is doing to the small tire? Do you think they're going to continue it on the streets?
I think they are. I started building this GTO that's behind me, and I started building that a couple years ago. Actually, that was going to be like my new No Prep Kings car, new big tire stuff. Like we were supposed to do America's List these last couple of months, but they went to Australia instead. And then again, word on the street. I don't know. Like I said, they do not tell me nothing. This is just what they're saying that America's list this year is going to be small tire. Again, so I'm trying to get everything ready so that, because they'll call me on Monday and be like, yo, you got to be in Vegas on Friday. Be like, seriously? Like, you drop everything. And I don't have enough pull with the show to be like, hey, man, I'm not coming this time. There's a million other people that'll take it. I don't have the balls to try to pull that one yet. So whenever they call, I try to show up, and you try to have something that's reliable, because you want to hire an employee who doesn't have reliable transportation. So I try to make sure the car's ready, and whenever that phone rings, I try to show up. You never know. Next time we might go out and maybe I'll finish number one. And then it'll be that'll be my stepping stone into the big time. There's opportunity to make money here. A lot of people are making a lot of money doing this stuff. Yeah. I'm just not one of those guys. I don't know if it's my personality, my attitude, if it's the quality parts I got. It's just I don't really know how many more people who haven't had their own shows been on more than I have. Other than like Bodie, Murillo and Birdman with the No Prep Kings. But other than those guys, I don't know really who's done as many shows as I have who hasn't had his own show.
Yeah. Right.
And
that's very true. Yeah.
And it sucks when the money, you hear about the money and someone their first time, they're getting the same as you, and it's like, really? Like, man, doesn't, I got some seniority in here, and I can't get paid, and it sucks. It sucks, but whatever. I'm, like I said, I'm still doing it as a hobby, and I like the competition. You could race at home all you want to, until you go race people at a nationwide thing. You don't really know how you stack up, and I just want to see how I stack up with the best.
Yeah. And then speaking of that, did you film Mega Cash Days while you were out there?
Yeah, we did Mega Cash Days. That's already done. So there's still stuff that you haven't seen, on TV yet.
Yeah. This Mega Cash Days is on small tires as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be cool when they finally air that. So when you were just talking about how you stack up against the rest of the field. We saw you on America's List season 2, and you did really good that year, especially early on, Johnny. Talk about that experience out there with the top dogs with the big tires on the street and how that whole thing was.
So I kind of have to start from the beginning with this. So when we were on one of the shows before, I had a turbo motor in the car, and we were on a show, and the flagger didn't give me enough time to spool, like 2 different times. And I was like, man, that's it. I'm putting a Pro Charger on my car. I'm never going to let someone be, destined my future again. I'm going to control my future, my destiny. So called Pro Charger. This is during COVID time. Couldn't get a Pro Charger right then and there. So by the time COVID stuff happened, or it was over, I was able to order a Pro Charger. As soon as I ordered a Pro Charger to get the car fired up, they call us, hey, guys, we're going out to Wyoming, and we need to be out there Friday. So we drove all the way to Wyoming, and all I did is I put this car in the trans brake, never went on the dyno, nothing. Well, we go out to Wyoming, it's like 6,000 feet elevation. This thing is like a turbo car. I tried to put it on the trans brake, and it's done. So I had to overnight a stator. We were racing the next day. We had to race the first round. The guys who we raced, they put us out the first night. So we didn't have, it wasn't like we got lucky enough to race the third or fourth night. We got to race the very next day. So put the stator in. The very first pass I ever made with the Pro Charge car was on the show. And the second round, I spun the tire. We lost. We go home. So we go home. During this time, I changed my car over to a Haltech Nexus. And again, I'm always changing my car. I'm stupid. I change the car. I always think I can do something better. So every week we're changing something to try to get better. So I put a Nexus in the car and get the car fired up. Man, a week later, hey, we're filming Mega Cash Days now. Come on out here. Like, dude, I didn't test nothing yet. So we go out there and the car's shutting off while I'm during the show. So I had some stuff with Haltech. They weren't communicating with me really good. I knew a guy at Fuel Tech and say, hey, man, if I order the stuff, can you get it to me? He's like, yep. So I overnighted all my Fuel Tech stuff. We ripped all the Haltech stuff out on the street. We rewired the whole car on the side of the street. We had to race that night. Car didn't shut off, but I didn't do very good. So I'm like, all right, this is again. So we go home. I'm like, before I go back to the show, I'm going to make sure I'm on point. This losing shit's old, especially losing on TV, it's old. So 2 weeks later, we get another call. hey, Johnny, we're filming another show out in Nebraska. You should come out there. I said, man, I think I'm going to skip this one. He's like, I'd advise you not to. He's like, it's going to be something big. I'm like, really? This is Mike Hellman talking. It's like, really? I was like, man, I got to talk it over to the girl. You know, we just had the new kid, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna come home and my house is gonna be empty. She's gonna be gone, kid's gonna be gone, dog's gonna be gone. Like, I don't know if I can do this. You know, 2 months straight. She's like, yeah, go ahead. You know, she's really supportive, so that's cool. So we went out there, and that was America's List. This is the first time we heard of America's List. And the problem with the Pro Charger stuff out here is, like, I don't have no help, no one to lean on. Like, hey, man, what converter do you run? Hey, man, what do you know, I'm kind of a self-taught kind of guy. And I didn't realize how important a torque converter was with the Pro Charge car at that time. So we're overnighting stators daily, you know, from the converter company. I could not get the stator right for nothing. This car was a dud. I couldn't really put a big tire on at that time, and it showed. We got blown out, man. It sucked. It sucked. We hurt the motor out there really bad. I'm like, I'm never doing this again unless I'm right. So those 2 months of filming is a year and a half of TV time. So it looks like I sucked for a year and a half, but I really only sucked for those 2 months. So then last year I finally got, you know, I got enough data on this thing. I got the right converter in it, you know, and we started making passes. So when we did America's List Season 2, I kind of knew my shit a little bit better, you know, and we figured it out. And I raced to be number one, man. I'm not cool with racing 2, 3. I don't want to finish second or third. I want to finish number one. I thought I was doing really, really good until Ryan beat me. And then after that, I had to go back to the drawing board. We had to figure out how to beat this guy. So we made a lot of changes in the car. I knew where I was lacking. The team stuff really is a big deal out here, just to compare data. So the 405, they're good. Don't get me wrong, but when you got 5 guys with the same combination, it's going to make life easier because now you can share data. Well, I got this converter. I got these drive shaft numbers. I'm running this ET. You know, JJ and those guys, they got Bruder tuning all their cars. Same guys touching all the cars. That's awesome. You give me 5 shots on, you know, 5 different cars. I'm going to figure it out sooner or later. I only have 1 shot to figure out every rotation of the list, where these guys have 4 or 5 attempts, you know, per rotation. So they advance so much faster than I could advance. You know, Brian, we had Brian, but our stuff really isn't comparable. You know, he's got the nitrous deal, and, you know, my pro, we really can't compare. You know, we can't really compare. Actually, the person who I shared data with the most out there was Bodie. You know, Bodie was kind of like a lone man on the island too, you know, and we were next to each other, and I know Patrick pretty good. So, like, we would discuss stuff, you know, and I knew those guys were going like 8 mile an hour faster than I was. So I had the ET. I just didn't have the mile an hour. I just couldn't back half. Like, I would lose the tire in high gear, and these guys, you know, they're running back half, and I just couldn't figure it out. And it showed when I raced Ryan. The part that I knew I was lacking at, you know, I had Ryan, you know, to like 300. I could run with him 300-400 foot, but he just had that mile an hour. I mean, I couldn't. So then we made the changes. We changed everything, made a big swing for it. Like I said, I'm racing for first. I don't care second, third, fourth. Doesn't matter. If you're not first, it doesn't matter. So it just took me enough. It took me too many laps to figure out the combination so I could go fast. And I already dropped down the list too much to even make a run for number one. But I wish, you know, I was really looking forward to this year if they were going to do it, especially with the GTO. The GTO, I really believe, is going to be a lot better car than the Mustang was. I build my cars. I don't have a shop that build them. I build my own motors. I tune it. I wire it. I do everything in house. And we have a guy, Billy Gilsbach. He did Ryan's cars, both Ryan's cars. Man, he's a badass dude. And he's only 3 or 4 miles from here. And he helped me out a lot with my car, you know, designing stuff, setting the suspension up, you know, put this bar here, put this there. We're going to put the mid plate here. We're going to put the engine here. So I was really excited about the GTO deal. The GTO deal, it just waiting on parts. You know, I wanted something that wasn't a Mustang. I actually had my GTO before Jeff Letts put his GTO out there, right? So everyone's like, oh, you're trying to be like Letts. No, actually, I had the shit before he did. But I don't get parts as fast as those guys. When I ordered the composite stuff, you know, the guy told me 6 to 8 weeks. It didn't show up for 11 months. So we had the whole car built, waiting on composite parts. And then at this time, we started racing last year. So we're racing every week. I don't have time to work on a GTO. And then with the rumors of stuff being small tire this year, I want to concentrate on a small tire car. And without doing No Prep Kings this year, I mean, there's really nothing I could do with the GTO. You know, I built it as a solely built big tire car, and without finding, you know, some kind of sponsor, winning is probably not going to happen for me. Even though I want to, man, I really want to. I know Jim was doing really good. You know, John was doing really good. Dave Atkins is you know, man, Dave Atkins is so close to figuring this stuff out. Like, Dave's got a real good program. He doesn't really break. I think he's like the only one that hasn't broke nothing all year. They were saying that combo's been really fast. He just, you know, it's just tough. The only time he really contests is when, you know, it's out there in the show, because he has his own business. He's got to go home, run his business, and then, you know, sometimes the car doesn't even come out of the trailer until the next No Prep Kings. But he's always, you know, chipping away. He's going to be really, really fast. You know, he's building a new car right now. Dave's going to really, I want to race with those guys. When we did it the one season, you know, we're losing. And when you're in the driver's meeting and you're like, man, you know, everyone's hoping to get me. That's not a good feeling, because you're easy prey, right? It's like buy it. It's like, man, that's not a good feeling. And now with Jim and John and Dave, you know, stepping up, I really wanted to race with them, but I can't afford it, man. It's hard enough just getting to the races, and then wear and tear, how hard you got to run your stuff to try to compete at that level. You know, my engines, I got a couple of Hemis, but they're not pro line Hemis. You know, there's levels, and mine's like old tractor puller motors. But you know, it is what it is. I don't want to make excuses, but you know, those guys got a lot of money, and it shows. They got some good shit, you know, and you need to spare everything when you're out there racing. And I just can't afford it. I want to so bad, but without someone knocking on my door and handing me a big check, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. And especially this year with those first 5 races, all right in a row on the MPK schedule. It's like, man, you're gonna need to have extra parts like crazy.
It's nuts. You know, like I said, we race every weekend anyway, but it's close. You know, the race I'm going to Sunday is only an hour and a half away. We could leave in the morning, be back that afternoon. Hey, you know what? It doesn't, you know, but, and then I have a shot at winning. No Prep Kings, I'm not going to beat these guys, you know, now with the parts I have. So you're driving 25, 30 hours, you know, you're spending $5,000 in fuel to get to a race, then a hotel, food, yada, 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 and knowing you're going to lose first or second round. It's hard to get motivated. It's hard to get up. Like, yeah, let's go do the fucking trip, you know? And these guys, they sell a lot of shirts. I don't have the following they do. So, you know, I'll sell 2 or 3 shirts on the weekend. And a lot of times I don't even do that because we're so busy with the car. I can't put someone out in front of my trailer selling shirts. You know, we have to, usually I only got like one guy traveling with me, and our job the whole time is maintenance the car, you know? And then they used to get mad at me because when I'd lose, I'd leave. I was like, man, I got to get home. You know, I don't have enough time if sitting here 12 hours waiting for this race to end. I could be halfway home by this time, you know, get home sometime Sunday, and then, you know, go to work on Monday and try to make some money to go racing next weekend.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense, man.
It's a hell of a grind, man. It took a lot of years out of my life doing that stuff. I mean, it was fun. Don't get me wrong. It's awesome to travel the country and to see all the places and race with those group of guys. But man, it's just, it's tough, man. It's tough.
Yeah. If you want, Johnny, we'll take a couple of questions from some people watching. While we're waiting for some questions, I'm going to shout out to a couple of my sponsors real quick.
For any and all No Prep Racing news, not just Street Outlaws, go to noprep.com or the No Prep Racing page on Facebook. This is the #1 source for all things No Prep, so be sure to check it out. Are you looking for a quick access firearm storage system that has a variety of access control levels based on your needs? Well, head on over to doorgunnerusa.com, a family-owned business who makes their products 100% right here in the USA.
I also want to just give a quick shout out to Kevin Stevenson. He's a big supporter of my page. He's a huge supporter of Street Outlaws. He has his own page. It's called Street Outlaws MPK Spoilers. Definitely check him out during the No Prep King season. He has all the updates, all the results, everything like that. So check out his page, Street Outlaws MPK Spoilers. Johnny, is there anybody that any of your partners that you want to shout out?
Yeah, I got like quite a few guys that help me out. One of my biggest supporters from day one is Marty Marillet. He does a lot of rear ends for like probably more than half of the No Prep King cars. He's a great guy, man. I've been with Marty since he started Maryland Racing, and just a great guy, man. Great guy. Always helps me out. He was just with me at Edgewater this last weekend. We always go over. I could call him at any time. He never sleeps. I call him at any time. We could go over some crazy scenarios, and we try to think of a plan. And we usually try some stuff before. I'm like the test dummy. A lot of times he'll design some shit. Come on, let's try it on the car, and we'll put it on the car, see how it works, and then he'll design if he's going to make changes before he puts it into production or not. Another big supporter of mine is Amanda Products. They manufacture off-road Jeep parts, but they help with a lot of the traveling. Big supporter from day one. It's not a huge big deal, but anything helps. I'm not against. If someone's willing to give me this much or someone's willing to give me that much, I respect them the same. For someone to take time out of their day to help me, I want to show my loyalty to them. Excess Batteries, Brady over there, huge supporter. Always help me out. Anytime I have an issue, he gives me a call. Redline Oils, we picked them up last year. Man, Mark Betty over there, he's a great dude. He'll just message you out of the blue, be like, hey, man, how's it going? How are things? I just got a text from him today. Like, how are things going? Can I do anything for you? I mean, that's awesome. When people look out for you like that, especially me, like I said, I don't feel I'm better than anyone. I just like to race. Just they film my racing. We race every day. Wolf Aircraft, they're around here. Anytime I need some, tubing or whatever, I go up there, and Brian usually hooks me up, so I get chicken welded all together. But whatever, they hook me up anytime. I have all these, we'll change motors. One day we'll be sitting around and we'll have the Hemi in it, and it'd be cool. We'll put the nitrous motor in it. It's a blessing and a curse that I could do it. It's a blessing that I'm able to do it, but it's a curse that I can do it because I do it.
Yeah.
Nitrous Express, they've been with me since the nitrous days. Awesome guys over there. Iski Cams, Nolan over there is a great guy. Detroit Battery Company, they came on board last year. They're continuing this year. NGK Spark Plugs is huge. ICB Firearms, my buddy owns ICB Firearms. I mean, we've been friends for 25 years. Detroit Record Sales, VP Fuels, AFCO Racing was another one we just picked up this year. That was actually our first race with it this last weekend, and man, it's huge. I had Marketplace shocks on my car since my car's been out. I bought them off Marketplace, and I sent them to Adam Lambert and had them revalved. But I'm racing No Prep Kings with some shit at $800 shocks. So now I actually got some good stuff, so that's huge. Express Equipment, that's Dave Atkins' company. Like I said, he helps out whenever he can. And PF Communications, which is another little company, they help me out with some gas money every now and then. But everything helps, man. Everything helps. Yeah. So if I could give back, and I want those guys to sell $100 million in products. So maybe next year, hey man, here's a good check. Go racing. Let's go big timing. And whatever I can do to help those guys out, it's huge. And again, it's humbling. When people they want to come up and I want to buy one of your shirts. Why do you want to wear my shirt? I feel if you're willing to support me, I should give you my shirts. I don't. It kills me to charge people for the shirts, but I can't afford it. You order $2,000-$3,000 in shirts at a time, and you sell them for $25 at a time. You never put the $3,000 back in the bank, right. And it takes so long to sell those shirts that it almost feels like a loss at the end of the day. And then when people want to rep you, it's like, man, I should give you my stuff, but unfortunately, I can't do it. I can't afford it. So some people understand it, and they just want to support in any way, shape they can. So it's huge, man. It's all appreciated. Like I said, I love racing, and they just happen to film, a lot of our racing that we do. And it's a good time.
Hell yeah, man. That's good stuff. Kevin Stevenson had a question. He wants to know, who is your biggest rival?
Man, everyone. Anyone. I want to race everyone. Whoever's in the next lane, I don't have anyone in particular. For the longest time, Brian was one of them. When we were grudge racing, we had, everyone. Detroit, we're not like a team-based thing. That's why Fast in America is so hard for us, because we race against each other. When we used to grudge race, we used to dog each other, talk shit. Now you got to be my teammate. Like, come on, man. Like, this ain't gonna work. But we're kind of getting over it. I mean, when in drag racing do you have teammates like a baseball team? No, it's usually like your solo sport. And
Yeah.
everyone. I want to beat everyone. Everyone. When we're racing, ain't nobody my friend. We can be friends afterwards, but while we're racing, nobody's my friend.
Yeah. And I tell you, Street Outlaws, they truly try to, especially No Prep Kings, they really try to sell the whole team aspect. And it's like,
They do.
it
They
seems
do.
like a lot of it is forced upon you guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We, like people, I don't really want to say that, but yeah, it's they do want to push the team thing because it gives people something to root for, something else. You got your favorite driver, now you got your favorite team. So
Right.
like
Yep,
I said
I get
before,
it.
yeah, I said before, like the TV, the people who make the TV, they're really smart at TV. They
Yeah.
know TV, and they find ways to get you to tune in, and that's the team attack deal. It's just another way to get you watching TV.
Yep, for sure. I had another question for you, Johnny. When you're not racing, what do you like to do outside of racing and cars and stuff?
All I do is racing. I'm lame, man. I don't drink. I don't party. I don't do drugs. I don't go on vacation. I race. When I'm not racing, I'm trying to make money to fix my shit to go racing again. I mean, this is all I do. I just had a kid, so I'm going to get it in before it's time for him to go racing. Once he wants to go race, I'm going to be 100% supportive of whatever he wants to do. So, I had my time. I had my first kid when I was 39 years old. So, I enjoyed everything I could. And then when it's his time, it's his time, So hopefully she says, oh, I'm not done racing because the kid needs a hero. So I can't quit racing when he's time, but whatever he wants to do, I'm down with it. That would probably be my way to get out. We're going to concentrate on what he wants to do.
Nice. I gotta imagine, I don't know, you must be a sports fan of some sort living around the Detroit area.
Yeah. Well, when they win, we don't have really much to root for lately.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if you like football. The Lions, man, the Lions are on the up and up.
Lions are killing it. I'm excited for them this year. One of my best friends, man, he's the biggest Lions fan there is. So, when they're losing, I'm texting him, what happened? What's going on? He won't talk for 2 days. And he's like, I ain't going to give you the satisfaction of commenting back, So, the Lions, though, man, it's huge. We always had the Red Wings. So, You know what? The Tigers could suck. The Pistons could suck. The Lions could suck. But we always had the Red Wings. Now even they suck. So, we ain't got nothing.
Yeah. No, I got you, man. I got you. Well, hey, Johnny, I appreciate you coming on the show, man.
Appreciate it.
I've been a fan of you ever since I started seeing you on Street Outlaws back when you guys came to the 405 for the first time. Good luck the rest of this year, racing in the World Series and No Prep and other events you do. Yeah, man. Thanks again.
Appreciate it.
Hope you have a good night, sir.
All right, buddy. We'll see you around.
See ya.
Later.